Hi everyone, here we are again. Now today is going to look a little different. I don't even want you to have your whiteboards with you today. Today I want you to sit back and I just want you to listen to me because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over time with you and then I'm just going to jump right into your homework for today, okay? So I want you to pay attention because there's a couple of things that are new to you and I just want to make sure that you understand that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at time to the hour. So what I've done is I've drawn clocks here. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an artist, so they're not the best clocks you've ever seen in the world. But what I want to do is I want to show you how to go ahead and read these clocks and how to write the time, okay? So this one here says time to the hour. That means that it's going to be an o'clock, right? So if I wanted to make it, say, 9 o'clock, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my hour hand first. And I need you to remember that your hour hand is the shorter hand. So my hour hand is the first one I'm going to draw, and I'm going to make sure it points right to the 9. And I'm going to draw my little arrow. So it's pointing to the 9. Now, my minute hand has to be to the 12 because it's 0 minutes past the hour, okay? So if I point it up here, this is the start of the hour. This is the top of the hour. So 9 o'clock is going to look like that on your clock. That means that each time it goes around like this, that means another minute is past the hour of 9 o'clock. And if I say it's just 9 o'clock, that means it's got to be straight up to the top so that it can begin the hour. Now, the way we write that is this. I'm going to write the hour first, which is 9. And then I'm going to make my 2 dots. And then I'm going to put 0, 0. And the reason I do that is because it's 0 minutes past the hour. And the other way I can write it is like this. 9, O with an apostrophe, and then clock. So that's the way we can write it. So not too hard, right? I think you got that pretty well. The other one I think you got pretty well is this. Time to the half hour. Now, what if I wanted to make it 9:30? Okay? So, again, my hour hand is going to point in the direction of 9. But I want you to think about something. As this minute hand is moving towards the 6, this hour hand is also starting to move closer to the next hour, which is 10. So when I put my hour hand down, you're going to notice that it's not going to be directly on the 9. It's going to be somewhere between the 9 and the 10. So if I draw it like this, remember my hour hand is my shorter hand. If I draw my hour hand here, you'll notice it's not directly pointing here, but it's not pointing to the 10 as well. And when I say 9:30, that means I've got to bring this one down here to the 6, because remember, each one of these is worth 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this would be 9:30. Now if I drew a line going all the way across, you'll notice that I'm a little past the 9, but I'm not quite to the 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle this 9 to remind me that the time, as we write it, is 9:30. Just like that. And again, I could put 9, and then sometimes you're going to see it written out 30. Okay? So that's how you do that one. Now yesterday, I showed you a little clip on how to do time to the quarter hour. Remember, I can draw, if I just do some little dots here, I can actually divide my clock into quarters, okay? Each quarter is 15 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15. Each one of those is 15 minutes. So what if I wanted to make it 9:15? So if I want to make it 9:15, again, my hour hand is going to be pointing to the 9, but guess what? Your minute hand is now needs to point to where 15 minutes is past. 5, 10, 15. So actually, the hour hand is going to be right, or the minute hand, I'm sorry, is going to be pointing to the 3. So this is 9:15, and we write it like this. Now, what if I want to change it? What if I want to make it 9:45? That'll be a little tricky, right? So let's think about it. I have 0 minutes past the hour here. I have 15 minutes here. I have 30 minutes here. I'm going to put 45 minutes here. So instead, what I would do is I would make this come all the way over here, and we'd actually have the hour or the minute hand come to the 9, but this here would move up a little bit. So I just want to show you really quick. I'm going to just erase this really quick, and I just want to show you. So 9:45 would look something like this. It would be really close to the 10, and then this here would be like that. And that's written 9:45. So here's the way we say that though. It's 9:45, or I could say it's 9:45. You know what that means? That means that I have one more quarter left until it gets to the hour of 10 o'clock. So that means it's 9:45. It's 15 minutes to 10 o'clock. Okay? Now, the last one I want to show you is the new piece. Now, we've been talking about quarter hours, half hours, top of the hour. But what happens when it's not on any of those? What happens if it's just in between? Well, each one of these little lines represents a minute, okay? So you can count by ones all the way to 60 by going around the clock. So what happens if I have my hour hand here at 9 again, but what happens if I have it here? I'm going to just see if I can draw it really close to this line here. Right there. So now let's take a look. We don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we could. And if I did that, if I went all the way down, it would be at 9:18. That means it'd be 18 minutes past the hour. But could I do this? I know that when I'm at the 3, that's 15 minutes. Can I go 15, 16, 17, 18? Here I am right here. 18. So I could say it's 9:18. And it would be just like this. Right? So that's minute, or that's time to the minute. You can get the exact minute it is. So remember, you always have to put your hour first and then the minutes. And you're going to notice too, a lot of times on the clock, you're going to have the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9 have like longer lines on them, and then the other ones are really little. Because a lot of times we don't really say 9:18. We just kind of round it to, oh, it's about 9:20. Okay? But I really, really, really want you to make sure that you use your hour hand first and then your minute. Okay? I think you're all set. I think you're ready for your homework for tonight. Now, it's not going to get as complicated as minute and quarter of the hour, but I wanted to make sure that you knew how to read the clocks like that. So your homework for tonight is lesson 13, and it's the last lesson for our workbook. But remember, I told you that our workbooks kind of go out of order. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to go back now in your workbook. It's the second to the last lesson, and it's problem set 13. So it says, circle the clock that shows 1:30 o'clock. So you have to circle the one that's half past. Now remember, half past is half of the clock, so that would be the 30, right? And then it says, write the times for the other 2 clocks on the lines. So what you're going to do is you're going to circle the one that it asks you for, and then you have to write the times of the other 2 clocks on the lines. Down here, it just wants you to answer what time is it. And they got a little tricky with this one and this one, because guess what? They didn't give you numbers on them, but you can kind of figure out what they are. And then here, what you're going to do is draw the minute and hour hands, just like I did, to come up with these times. I don't think it's going to be too hard. I think you're going to be able to get it with no problem. But do let us know if you have any problems with it. And I hope this was helpful, and we'll do some more review tomorrow.